when you're talking about Kung Fu Life and having it available for them, and I love that story because I remember learning from my sifu, but then the brothers would get together and let's see it, let's work on it. And I think when we're looking at the long-term, and that's what Kung Fu Life is, isn't it? The long-term study, the long-term relationships. When it comes time to segregate, to put your own version into it, having a club, what role does that play? Having your own club to be able to have all the brothers and sisters there. Does it need to be 24/7, or because I know a lot of sifus can't do that?
Right. Well, the point is you have two. I mean, when you talk about the qualified transmission, you have two aspects. When you talk about how you approach the system, which is understand each nature of the domain, for example, Siunim Tao, Chamkyu, Bilji. Each domain have different approach, different logic, different way to transmit. Then, besides that, you have to consider the person itself you are transmitting, because your group of students maybe or for sure is different than the group of your Sifu students. So the experience you have in your Sifu club maybe won't apply in your own club, because the group is smaller, you have less experience than your Sifu, but for other side, you were a recipient of a better quality Kung Fu than your Sifu, because your Sifu himself increase yourself, improve himself to offer better Kung Fu than you receive. So it's a kind of very variables we have for that determine what is appropriate to offer to your students. Normally, people said, "Oh, I teach exactly the way my teacher taught me." This is dangerous, very dangerous. Maybe when you talk about conditions, because the condition is totally different. Maybe when you're joining your Kung Fu family, the families are very well established, have many sihins, many sidais, It's a very, very dynamic. And now you start a new family with very young students, young Kung Fu. You are not so experienced. So it's totally different. So you must understand. So that's why understand the system make you choose the right choice, because sometimes you make some you give up some points which is very important, and you try to follow certain methods or methodology that is not that important in order to transmit the system. So all this is a very challenging, to have. So doesn't have any recipe to do that. You have to first understand better the Kung Fu, the conditions again, and do it. So that's why share your challenge with your Sifu is crucial, because then he can help to do that, help you to do that. But don't try to say, now I do exactly what I'm supposed to do because I do better than my teacher, because my teacher is too traditional and I'm a very modern Sifu. So that's why I have been very innovative, create new systems, so on and so on. Don't try to do that. This is terrible. The same way I used to do exactly, because I'm a traditionalist, I do exactly what my Sifu did, and also stupid. Both actually are stupid, because you don't listen the situation. you must listen your situation, your conditions, and do the best.
So sao pole also exists in life. It also
Right.
exists in every transition.
Right.
So yeah.
I mean, basically, sao pole exists in for any learn process. For example, when you start to learn anything, start listen to the elders, try to learn more with the others experience, which is a very limited, because you must have your own experience, but something you can learn for that. Try your best to learn from the others. Then try to use someone you like as a reference, not to try to copy him, but as a reference, as a good example you can have about certain activity. Then you can go on, and understand, and try to find out if they have a system of learning like a Wing Tsun. So, as you know, the Patriarca Moy Yat is a self-taught artist. How he did that? Because he could use Wing Tsun system to learn other arts. You know, so you can use the Wing Tsun system too, because you're very aware about the system. So then you can use, for example, for Sao stage, all Siunim Tao, nature, Chamkyu, nature, BUG, nature, you know, to understand. Then when you more seasonate, then you can use the Mui Fajon, then you can use Luktin Punkwa, in other words, try something opposite, then Pachamto. See, I think the Wing Tsun system is a good guide to and then you can follow the Sao Pole process. Because even Sao Pole is not the simple, because even Sao, inside the Sao, we have a lot of Sao Pole. Inside the Sao Pole, you have other Sao Pole. For example, I give a Wing Tsun system example. For example, in Sao phase of Wing Tsun system is composed by Siunim Tao Chamkyu BUG, right? But this, in those three, Sao, Siunim Tao represent the Sao of Sao stage. Chamkyu represent the Po of Sao stage. And BUG represent the Lei of Sao stage. But each of those lists, they have three parts too. So the first part of Siunim Tao represent the Sao stage of Sao stage of Sao stage, right? Second part, Po stage of Sao stage of Sao. Then third part, Lei of Sao of Sao. So if you see, they have a very what do you call, degrees, you know, inside. So that's why when you talk about Hoikun, which is represented the beginning, the initiation of a Wing Tsun system, is represented by the first part of Siunim Tao, right? When you start to teaching, I mean, you formally accept or introduce someone in the system, you teach the first part, right, of Siunim Tao, which is the Sao of Sao of Sao, is the quintessence of the system. Everything is there. The key of the system is in the first part of Siunim Tao. So then you can understand how you can also reproduce this kind of system in the others activities, every kind of learning. Like you said, we want to drive or play soccer. Where is that? When you play soccer, what you have to learn how to play soccer. So that's you like soccer or not? So otherwise I use another.
I'm getting
sentence.
into it. I'm getting into it. It's okay. Yeah.
Okay. So if you not see, you seen any soccer game?
Yes, I have. Yeah.
Okay, in TV or on the field?
On the field.
Good. So it's better because in TV you have a wrong idea about it. When you see the field, what do you not see? Most of time, the players, they are not with the ball. They running without the ball. That means the soccer is not the ball game. It's a without ball game. Because they made a research and how long a player stay with the ball during the game. The game, as you know, has 90 minutes. The record by the time, not now, by the time was a couple decades ago, was Pele. Almost 1 minute. So 1 minute with the ball. Imagine, each time they touch the ball is almost 1 second, okay? So during the game, he stay with the ball 1 minute. So the question is, what do you have to do with another 89 minutes without the ball? If you are Pele, but if you are not Pele, maybe even more, So that means the soccer first is a game without the ball. You know how to put yourself in a good position to receive the ball.
You're creating the conditions for successful.
Creating conditions. So that's the Kung Fu perspective, how to learn soccer. Then the second, you have to kick the ball because this is the main foundation. But when you kick the ball, what is most important when you kick the ball? They hit the ball? No. The most important is the other leg who sustain the body to kick the ball. Because their leg, you give the direction where you kick the ball. But the beginners, they all concentrate on the leg who gonna kick the ball, not the supporting leg, because the supporting leg is the most important. So, in other words, what I try to tell you, if you want to learn soccer, try to understand what is really important in the game. Instead, just what it looks like, If you are serious, you want to be a serious soccer player.
People can get carried away with the small parts of it and not really understand the purpose.
Right.
And so Sao Pole helps you accept, okay, what's the outcome? What are we trying to achieve? What are the strategies? What are the foundational things we need to know? Fitness, health, positioning, And then as the game goes, you can create, okay, let's now find out what I'm good at in this game, because I'm not good at everything. What's my, right? And then from there, you can say, okay, let's become experts at creating the condition.
Right.
For a winning game.
Winning game, yes. Any game.
Any game, yeah.
Any game. So I believe Sao Pole is the most smart way to learn things.
So can I ask you a question then about being an educator? How has that understanding, I mean, when did you first come across Sao Pole, and how has that changed you as an educator?
I was talking with my Sifu in 1996. I was really, by the time, my son just born. I was in the hospital with my former wife, and she was delivering our first son. And I stayed there and I was studying. I was really concerned about the nature of the system, because my Sifu always provoked me to understand more and more the system. So I want to know more, and I don't remember well how we come out with that. I remember the place. We were in a restaurant in East Broadway in Chinatown, New York. And the moment we start to discuss about learning process, and he come out with the 3 characters I sent to you, Sao Paulo. So then, actually, or I asked him about it, something like that. Then he wrote down and said, but this is not important. I said, oh, yeah, okay. It's not important. Then I keep quiet. Then he keep quiet too. Then he decided to say something else. He said, well, as a no important, but let me explain to you. So then I realized why he said is no important. Because actually Sao Paulo is implicit in any Kung Fu system. So you don't have to know. You just to follow the system by itself, But maybe he remember I came from Japanese background. And in Japan, they are really serious about Sao Paulo, but they use a different way. They don't use like we use in the Wing Tsun system. They use, in each technique, they have Sao Paulo. For each waza, they say. So, for example, I learned certain movement, certain technique. We start with Sao. So we copy exactly the way the sensei play. Then you go to the po, you start to see the possibilities, explore the possibilities, how to change the movement in each stage. Then finally achieve the lay when you do your own thing, based on what your sensei show you. So they do that in each movement. But in the Wing Tsun system, we have that implicit on the system already. You don't have to do that. You don't need to do that. Because the Siunim Tao, the nature, Siunim Tao Cham Kyu Biuji, or ever have it, in a very complex way. It's very well set up, very clear. But then he explained the character. And he explained a little bit different than they have in the dictionary. Because in dictionary, Sao means to keep. Keep what? Keep the tradition. But Sifu said Sao means obey, to obey. Which is the idea is obey the tradition first. Instead, criticize. See, we Westerners, first thing you do when you see something we don't agree, you start to criticize. Come on, stop. If those, the Sifus, they keep in doing this for so long. Let's try first, even if we don't agree. Let's see the logic, the rationale they have behind the appearance. Then we see. So that's the Sao. So in the same way, when you learn something from someone, your father start to teach something to you, you just copy him. Try to do exactly. But this is the first stage. So that's why nothing wrong when someone try to copy his Sifu, because maybe in the Sao stage of teaching. But the student gonna suffer because it's not appropriate for him. That's the point. You understand what I mean? For you, it's okay. As a teacher, as a learner, as a big teacher, is okay. So that's why all the Dai Sihin, Dai Daiji, right, the family, they suffer a lot. The first group, they all suffer a lot because the Sifu still, is in the learning process as a Sifu. Then they go to the Po. Po is to break, like Po Chong. You know, po is break. So break apart. In other words, analyze. Lies means in Latin means break, to break, right? Analyze is the idea. Put in parts, study, you know, then after you accept, after you be practice for some time what exactly your sifu said to you do, you start to analyze. But after, not before, after. So then you can see the potential, what he's showing to you. Then finally, you can follow the Bruce Lee's advice, you know, absorb what is useful and reject what is useless, you know, for you. That's you achieve the lay process, you know, I mean, the lay phase. So the Sao Paulo is exactly like that.
Is
you
that
know,
why,
and you can use it any circumstance of learning.
is that why Grandmaster Ip Man said, pass the system on without your garbage? Because that was a necessary thing to do, to point out?
We know what?
Did he say, Grandmaster Ip Man said, pass on the system without your garbage?
Oh, your garbage.
That, I've heard that many
Oh,
times.
yes. Actually, that's the first time I heard about that. But
Oh, okay.
that makes some sense. You know, what is garbage? Garbage is what you are, because you must make a distinction. What is for you, what you are passing to your student. Because if you force your student think like you, that's, in my opinion, is the garbage.
Yes.
No matter how good it is.
Yeah.
How good it is. I mean, of course, you're going to show something to your student, which you believe is good, but it's up to your student, accept or not.
Yes. Just like a child.
Yeah.
Just like
You know, I mean, and the good advice is the beginning, try to accept. Soul phase. For them, when you go to post stage, after certain years, amount of years, then he can decide by himself what you show is garbage or not. In other words, useless for him or not, you know. But it's up to him, not up to you. That's his job to do it.
So
your job is concentrate on the best you can, and allow him to live his own process of learning.